My name is Yoko Toda. Although I've been having a happy marriage with my husband Takashi, there is an undeniable flaw he has.
Oh, hello. Is that the community circular board? Oh. Thank you for bringing it. I hope it wasn't a burden. I'm so sorry.
There goes Takashi apologizing to our neighbors again. It's nothing new that people bring the community circular board over to the next person next doors. That's just the rules. There is no need for him to apologize so much. Takashi is a quiet man, always getting along with others. Before marriage, I had always thought of Takashi as a mellow and gentle man, which made him seem like the perfect person to be with. However, after getting married, I quickly realized that Takashi isn't necessarily kind. He's just a people pleaser, always avoiding even the smallest of trouble.
Oh, right. Yoko. Dad and Mom want to go out tomorrow night. We'll need to drive them.
Wait, what? Weren't we supposed to go to the store my friend runs? We've already promised that we'd go, and we can't just cancel our reservations.
Just ask them to change the plans. Your friend will understand. Please, Yoko.
Takashi had a weak spot for his parents, unable to deny their words. In fact, he even seems to enjoy following their every whim, even when it turns into an inconvenience. He just mumbles out a quick and empty apology. But we've already made so many plans for that day. My friend will be expecting us.
My parents said they really need the help. They live by themselves. We should help as much as we can, right?
We should help. Of course he has to say that. Takashi is always saying things that would sound good at first glance. All right, I'll contact my friend and tell them we're canceling our reservations.
Thanks, Yoko. I'm sure my parents will be so happy too.
Takashi and his parents may be happy, but I need to make apologies to my friend for canceling so suddenly, along with changing all of the things we had planned out. In the end, it's always me who gets the short end of the stick. One day, Takashi walked up to me after returning from work and told me this.
My mother needs a wheelchair now, so my father wanted me to tell you to take care of her.
My mother-in-law had injured her leg a little while ago, so during treatment, it was necessary for her to use a wheelchair. What? I have to work late, you know.
What? Work?
I was surprised to hear my father-in-law had ordered me to be my mother-in-law's caretaker. However, for some reason, Takashi looked at me with a surprised look on his face. I don't have the time. So if she's in need of a caregiver, we should hire a professional. Or instead of me, you could go.
But...
I suggested a different idea to Takashi, but for some reason, he seemed reluctant. For now, tell your father about what I just said. I'd be fine coming over when I have time, but I'm really busy. Even though I had quite the workload with house chores and a job, it was necessary to keep working for the sake of our family. I feel sorry, but there's no way I can take on the role of a caretaker. But if they hire a professional, they'll probably be fine. However, Takashi, who had just returned from his parents' house, seemed troubled. What's the matter?
It's my father. He told me to get divorced if you don't agree to take care of my mother.
What? A divorce? Even if he wanted me to take care of her? Isn't that a little extreme to suggest divorce?
Yeah. Yoko, could you be her caregiver? My father will be mad at me. Please.
What do you mean, please? Divorce for not agreeing to be my mother-in-law's caregiver? What on earth is my father-in-law even saying? Takashi isn't helping either. His father is clearly wrong, yet he comes pleading to me to save his own skin?
Just take a day or two off from work. Or maybe you could come home early.
Take a day off? He really is suggesting I should get off work early, when there's no way I'll be able to just go home early. Takashi continued to attempt to dump a ton of workload onto me, with that pathetic expression on his face I had gotten used to seeing. At his ridiculous demands, my irritation reached its peak. Fine, let's get a divorce.
Huh? Divorce? Why?
Why? That's what I should be saying. Why do you think I wouldn't divorce you, even in such an outrageous situation?
What do you mean? And why do you want a divorce? It's just caregiving.
Just caregiving? Yeah, right. You're always thinking about yourself. You really don't understand anything, do you?
That's not true. I've always thought about you and my parents.
From my side, it seems like you always don't want trouble on yourself. So you're always being a people pleaser and never do anything.
What do you mean I never do anything? No, I always keep an eye out, so we won't have any unnecessary problems.
Really? Why don't you take a step back and think that over? Hearing the sudden declaration of divorce from me, Takashi seemed to be in a panic. Without another word, I packed up my bags.
Yoko, where are you going?
Takashi tried to stop me, but I left the house without looking back. A while later, Takashi called my phone, sounding panicked.
Where are you, Yoko? Come back!
Takashi sounded desperate. Probably because I hadn't returned home at all. I'm not going back. We're getting divorced anyways.
Huh? Divorce?
Why are you so surprised? It's your father's idea of getting divorced if I didn't become your mother's caregiver. And since you didn't protest, that must mean you're fine with getting a divorce, right?
I didn't say I was okay with a divorce.
It's the same. You never protested against your father's words, did you?
But that's just...
Takashi shut his mouth when I questioned him. Takashi was always like this, just clamming up and choosing not to say anything as soon as the odds turn against him. You probably think you've merely delivered a message from your father, but since you weren't against his words, you've basically agreed to his idea.
You're not being fair. I never thought of getting a divorce in the first place. You're not serious, are you?
Not serious? This was unbelievable. But after all this, Takashi still didn't believe my words of wanting a divorce.
Hey, Yoko, where are you now? I'll go pick you up.
I'm in Paris.
What? Paris? You've got to be kidding me.
I'm not joking. I like to stick to my word. Unlike you. You should try it too. You said you'd come get me, right? Then come.
But...
I wasn't surprised. Despite being so high and mighty, Takashi took back his word as soon as I told him I was in Paris.
I can't just go overseas like that. I need to prepare, and I can't just leave my parents alone.
But you just promised you'd come get me. Or was that just another empty promise of yours?
No, it's not like that. But I didn't expect you to be in Paris.
I had always been annoyed at Takashi when he couldn't make up his mind. He would always just laugh everything off and try to avoid making important decisions. But now, I finally understand. A person who is this uncaring and can never make up their mind is someone who I cannot stand living with for the rest of my life. We can't even have a serious discussion with each other. If you're not coming, then fine. I didn't expect you to anyways. Unable to wait for him to make up his mind, I cut the call short. After my well-spent trip to Paris, I returned to my own parents' home instead of the one I shared with Takashi. I'm home. Welcome home, Yoko. How was your vacation? My parents welcomed me with open arms. It was wonderful. I've been so cooped up with work recently, so it was a nice change. Since that phone call, Takashi didn't come to find me. Even though I knew, it still was a disappointment to see how much of a coward he was. If he had actually come to pick me up in Paris, I was considering giving him a chance. Just as I was about to give some souvenirs and tell my parents about my trip to Paris, the doorbell rang. Who could that be? I'll answer the door. When I opened the door, to my surprise, it was Takashi and my father-in-law standing there.
Yoko, why did you leave me? You should at least tell me you returned from your vacation. I was so worried.
The first thing Takashi did was ramble at me with an unusually loud voice. Takashi only speaks this confidently when he's completely sure that he is in the right. Even these parts of him just seem cowardly and selfish from my perspective now. My father-in-law was also angry at me.
What kind of person are you? Leaving your family behind to go off on some vacation? Especially when your mother-in-law is in need of your assistance.
I see. Takashi didn't call me because he was worried about the divorce. He was just getting pressured by his father to do so. I can't believe my father-in-law was thinking I would become his wife's caretaker no matter what. Excuse me, did you not hear that me and Takashi are getting divorced?
Huh? Divorce? With Takashi? How did we end up talking about that?
As I had guessed, Takashi hadn't told his father that I was planning on getting a divorce. I clearly told Takashi. I'm busy with work, so I'm unable to take care of his mother. And since Dad demanded I get a divorce if I didn't agree to take care of his mother, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I told my father all of that. That you wouldn't be able to take care of my mother, so that we needed to find a different way.
But you left out the part where I was going to get a divorce. As I pointed out these things, Takashi shut his mouth once more, mumbling something while he looked to his father for help. My father-in-law was first staring at me with a surprised expression, clearly in a panic.
Divorce? There's no way I'll let that happen.
Huh? What do you even mean by that?
Why are you trying to get a divorce for such a stupid reason? I won't allow this. Yoko, come back home and take care of my mom, please?
A pleading begging Takashi and his fuming father. That was more than enough to leave me dumbfounded. What are you talking about? It was your idea for me to get divorced in the first place.
What do you mean by that?
You should hold responsibility to your words. And Takashi, I can't believe how in this situation, you can still ask me to take care of your own mother.
Well, it would be easier for all of us that way. My parents would be happy and none of this dispute would drag on.
Do you even hear yourself? I'm the one to take care of your mother while also working? What about you then?
Huh? Oh, I'll help with the housework.
He gave an answer which was clear that he didn't plan on actually doing anything. I can't believe what I'm hearing. You really don't want any burden, do you?
That's not the case. I'm just trying to do what's best for everyone.
I don't want to hear any more of this. I'm getting a divorce.
Wait, Yoko.
My father-in-law tried to stop me from shutting the door on them.
You're seriously getting a divorce over something this minor? You'll also be in trouble if you get divorced, right? I know Takashi is a quiet one, but he's smart and a hard worker.
I don't need him. I'll be perfectly fine by myself.
Huh? You don't need him?
Seeing that he was surprised, I took the chance and explained to him about the whole situation. About the very reason of why I was upset at Takashi. It seems that Takashi hasn't been telling you anything. Takashi is always vague and can't make straight decisions. Even at work he can't get promoted, so he remains a lowly employee all the time.
A lowly employee? Hey, Yoko, what are you talking about?
Since he has such a low income, I have to work harder for Takashi and my sake. I've been busy every day, and I don't have any time for even my own needs.
But Takashi was supporting the household as a husband in other ways, right?
No, not at all.
Not at all?
Takashi is also bad at housework. He never wants to do anything that he's bad at. So he always does the bare minimum and nothing else. He's always thinking about himself, under a facade of kindness. Even the neighbors give him odd looks because he keeps on apologizing for no reason at all. I bet he's always like that at work too. No wonder people don't trust him.
What? They think of me like that?
Yes, they do. They probably feel guilty since you apologize so much, even though they have nothing to feel sorry for. As I explained how much of a troubled person Takashi was, I could see the blood drain from my father-in-law's face. He probably saw Takashi as a person who was obedient and diligent son.
I was told from Takashi that he was doing well at work and making enough to support the family.
Oh, that's a lie.
A lie?
Takashi probably only told you the good parts of his life. In that case, it's no wonder why you insisted on having me taking care of your wife. It all boiled down to Takashi telling his parents that he was working hard and that I was well off, just for the sole reason of looking good in front of his parents. My in-laws believed Takashi, leading to them thinking they could just have me take care of his mother instead of having to hire someone. The reason for my father-in-law's anger was all because of Takashi's words, leading him to think I was a lazy wife.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize Takashi would lie to my face like that. I apologize for the whole demand about the divorce. So please, don't divorce my son. I'm begging you.
That's right, Yoko. I'll reflect on things. So please come back home.
Takashi quickly said he was sorry, along with his father, who finally understood the truth. The sight only furthered my disgust at the situation. You two really are alike.
You're alike? Really?
Yes, really. Especially the part where you both tried to dismiss your previous actions as if nothing happened, without any consideration for the other person's feelings. My parents, who had been listening in to our conversation, also had a confused look on their faces.
She's right. This situation is way too one-sided.
Shouldn't Takashi have been the one to lead caregiving from the very beginning? Why are you trying to push everything onto Yoko? Yeah, that's right. Takashi, I want you to take care of your mom.
What? Me? No way.
Everyone who was present froze at his words.
What do you mean, no way? What are you talking about, Takashi? She is your mother.
Well, caregiving is hard and... Oh, right. We should hire a professional. Just like Yoko suggested.
Even his own father couldn't hide his bewilderment at Takashi's attitude. I knew it. This is Takashi's true nature. Takashi just doesn't want to do anything out of his comfort zone. He just didn't want to take care of his mother. That's why he's been trying to get me to come back home all this time. I hope you understand now, Dad. I can't be with someone who is so ignorant and irresponsible.
I can't believe my son was such an incompetent man.
Huh? Dad, you understand, right? I won't take care of Mom, okay? Get someone else to do it.
And by the way, my vacation to Paris was a paid vacation, which means I wasn't slacking off since I was getting payment.
I see.
It seems my father-in-law couldn't say anything anymore. After that, I got a divorce, just as I had declared. Takashi still seemed to have a hard time understanding why exactly I had wanted a divorce. At that point, his father had silently accepted our divorce.
Huh? Weren't we going to hire a caretaker for Mom?
I've spoken with your mother. It seems we haven't done a proper job of raising you.
I can't believe you had such a disrespectful attitude toward Yoko and everyone around, and behaved that rudely.
You need to learn that you can't run from everything. You're going to be taking care of your mother with me.
What?
My in-laws have come to realize Takashi's incompetence through this incident, while they oversee their mother's caregiving. They seem to be reflecting on their own parenting that resulted in Takashi turning out so irresolute. I'm home.
Welcome home, Yoko.
You went to Northern Europe this time, right? How was it?
It was amazing. Of course, there's bound to be unexpected events when you're traveling. But getting through those problems by yourself is the fun part of it. I'm so much happier than when I was with Takashi. An excessively conservative way of living, or a life spent pleasing others, can't compare to a life where you can make your own choices. Since then, I've been living alone, working hard for nobody but myself. I use my paid time off to travel abroad, or take my parents on trips, and I'm enjoying my life to the fullest. Life is full of hardships and tedious events, but I want to cherish each part of my life instead of just getting through each day.